So I want you to imagine that you are in New York City and it's 1867. The city of Manhattan is paralyzed because the river is literally frozen solid. There's no way across to Brooklyn. But there's this one guy, John Roebling, and he sees an opportunity. The largest bridge ever attempted in human history, the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, to get approval from the city, it took one document that was 6 pages long, and it took 2 years to break ground. In 1883, we didn't wait for permission to invent the future, we just built it. Compare the Brooklyn Bridge to the recent addition across the Hudson River. The Mario Cuomo Bridge took more than 20,000 pages of documentation, 47 permits, and it took 14 years to break ground. It actually only took 5 years to build it. What's changed is that we stopped treating fear and risk as something to be overcome, and we started treating it as something to be outlawed. So we have to ask ourselves, will the future be one of abundance or scarcity?
This is Stand Together Presents, stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
I'm John Hardin, and I'm a senior fellow at the Abundance Institute. So how did we get here? Well, it wasn't malicious. We all want safe workplaces and clean water, and we don't want rivers on fire. Smart regulation isn't the enemy of innovation. It helps usher the safe adoption of emerging technologies. But the challenge is that we've codified fear, anxiety, and concerns into a mountain of regulations. It's like sediment building. Each regulation is like a grain of sand falling down, and as it builds, it hardens into a concrete that makes it extremely difficult to push through and create the progress and the technology and the innovations of tomorrow that can solve problems. We used to be the country that built the Hoover Dam in 5 years. We used to be the country that during the Great Depression built the Empire State Building in just 1 year. We used to be the country that in the 1960s built a nuclear reactor, went from idea to electrons on the grid in just 5 years. Our competitive advantage, it wasn't just our natural resources, it was our natural audacity. And yet today, the industries that should be powering our economy and powering our future are suffocating. From manufacturing to energy to artificial intelligence. So what do we do about it? Well, the good news is that the same American spirit of innovation and solving problems that was alive in 1883 is still alive today in America. And the regulatory barriers in front of us, they're made of paper. We wrote them, and we can rewrite them. Today, across the country, housing sits on the drawing board for years before it ever breaks ground. Energy projects stall, transportation infrastructure stretches across decades. Even the most promising technologies aren't failing. They're waiting. This is where a different approach to policy can change everything. When we help policymakers better understand the technologies they're trying to govern, they write rules that guide progress instead of blocking it. And when we design systems that allow for experimentation, innovation doesn't stall, it scales. By reimagining the regulatory frameworks that govern everything, from housing infrastructure to emerging technology, we can unleash a new era of American progress. In 1883, shortly after the Brooklyn Bridge opened, there was a woman walking across who tripped on the stairs and fell, and someone screamed, and people thought that the bridge was falling. Now, it wasn't. The bridge was solid. But the fear of disaster had primed people, and a stampede actually broke out, and 12 people died. Now, the city had a choice. They could have surrendered to the panic. They could have closed the bridge. They could have wrapped it in red tape. But that's not what they did. Instead, P.T. Barnum of Barnum and Bailey Circus marched 21 elephants across it. He didn't give people a study. He gave people proof that the bridge was sound, that the bridge was solid. And he reminded people the future is not something to be afraid of. The future is something to meet head on. I believe we can get back there. You see people all around you every day, eager to solve problems, to innovate new pathways. When we balance caution with the courage to move forward, we bring out the best in American innovation. So will the future be one of abundance or scarcity? It's what we do today that decides.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels, And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.